Fire up Mason Rudolph if you're absolutely desperate. Shouldn't be that
Don't
desperate.
fire up Mason Rudolph,
Don't
even if
fire
you're
him up.
desperate.
Don't
Throwing
fire
for
him.
300.
Yeah, don't fire. Bengals at Browns. Cover your mouth. They won't just do your order.
He has been quarterback 11 or higher 3 of the last 4 weeks. And everybody hates on this guy. It is Danny Dimes.
I'm hanging up right now. I can't believe it. I'm hanging up.
No.
What up? What up?
What's
going on?
What up? I didn't know what to say when you said what up.
I know I stole your thunder.
That's what I usually say. I'm like, what do I say?
Good Saturday evening.
Hello. Is that better?
Oh, please. All right, Ned Flanders.
Hi, diddly ho, neighbor.
Yeah. Oh, man.
How about-
You see me? Go ahead.
How about them guys?
Yeah, how about them boys in blue?
How about them guys? It's a
How about 'em?
good
Hail
weekend.
to the victors.
Mm,
7-5 on the season, but we won the one that counts.
yep,
The game.
man. It's called that for a reason.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it was a big win for them. We unfortunately lost this guy
Yes.
on Thursday.
The guy way up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guy right over there.
It didn't quite work when you pointed at it. I'm like,
I know. On mine, it works. Way over there.
right there.
Yeah, him over yonder. Yeah, we lost him, but yeah. So without further ado, it's a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're welcoming you on into WPF, the When Pigs Can Fly Fantasy Football Show. We are your handsome hosts of the show. I'm Sal Adams. He's Corey Lamberts, and that is the Wesley Bryant.
Boom.
Oh boy, he dabbed.
Holy smokes.
Oh shoot! All right, I'm not even asking how you're doing.
I've been flexing
Wow.
too much lately, so I had to throw something else in there.
Yeah,
Goodness.
yeah, that's way worse. By the way,
I know.
Maybe,
I know.
Maybe scrap that idea. Maybe scrap that.
So
one.
that was a one-time special.
Yeah, I mentioned it just a second ago. I'm hurting, man. My boy Rodrigo, he's out for the season with the ACL tear, seal teary, if you will. I'm a deal,
The
man.
worst injury. The worst injury.
Yeah, Lions are hurting, but they're still making it happen.
Couple big moves out of the Detroit Lions this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quan Alexander, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
The
who
other
did we grab off
Isaiah.
the Broncos?
Oh no. No, we grabbed Quan Alexander off the Broncos
sorry,
practice squad. We grabbed a defensive tackle from someone else.
Yeah, shoot.
We can look it up after we start the show.
Yeah, we'll move on to that in a little bit. It's a wild week we've had so far. We had Turkey Day, gobble gobble.
Yep.
We had
Yep.
Black Friday, and now it's time to get fired up for a Sunday full of action. We have positional power rankings tonight. We have the injury update for the week. We have picks and locks, and we also have the recap from this week's early games. Buckle on up, ladies and gentlemen, because the WPF crew is about to take flight.
Let's ride. Wait. Wrong team.
Good. I hope you guys had a great Turkey Day. That was
Oh, dude.
feels like forever ago already.
I was surprised that I only gained 3 pounds because I weigh myself every day, and then I weighed myself the morning after Thanksgiving, and I was like, oh, not bad. Because
Not
That
bad.
means you ate.
Oh.
That means you ate
Smashed.
3 pounds of food, man.
I'm surprised that's it.
Food.
I mean, does it really mean that?
Well, you can't gain any more weight than the amount of weight of food that you ate. Can't gain 10 pounds off of eating 5 pounds of food. That's not how it works. That's not math.
Water
is
weight? I feel like there's a lot of variables. You know what? It doesn't matter. Thursday afternoon, we had a Lions versus Bears game. Corey, I know you're itching to talk about what happened after the game, but we're going to have you hold off on that. Through halftime,
The Lions signed defensive lineman off Seahawks practice squad and waived Maurice
FBI.
Alexander and his defensive tackle Miles Adams. That's not the name I remember talking about.
That's not the other guy. We got another guy.
I know, but I didn't hear anything about this Miles Adams. Oh, Jonah Williams. That's it. That's the one you're thinking of. Off
From the
Los
Rams.
Angeles Rams. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Miles Adams it's another one I didn't even know about. So yeah.
Bolstering. That actually just came out, it looks like, a couple hours ago. That's probably the most recent one.
We waived wide receiver Maurice Alexander, who just came up for the punt returns.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 16-0 at halftime it was, and we struggled mightily in the second half. We came out and we were a different team. Not as good of a team, if I do say so myself. Our boys were making me hecka nervous.
Yeah.
Yep.
We told you to lock DJ Moore, whom got 16 targets. It sounds like you told us right before the show, Corey. Yeah.
Yep.
We told you to lock David Montgomery, who had a decent game. Who else did we tell him to lock?
That's who I
Amon
told
Ra.
him.
Yep.
We had some. We connected the dots on that one. We had a couple of big calls. Goof had 21 of 34 for 221 and 2 touchdowns. Decent game. Caleb Williams went 20 of 39 for 256 and 3 touchdowns. Fantasy-wise, had a better game than Goff did.
Yeah, man, Lions shut them down in the first half, and I don't know what happened in the second half, but
I apologize for the shaking of my screen. I'm adjusting my laptop.
That's all right. As predicted, we told you to bench DeAndre Swift. He had 11 carries for 39 yards and 2 catches for 35, which is a grand total of just over 7 fantasy points.
Yep.
Gibbs had 9 scampers for 87. Monty had 21 for 88. I didn't feel like he carried the ball that much, but holy.
Oh, he did.
So 9 for 87 and 21 for 88.
Yeah,
Yes,
they were like 1 yard apart.
Lord.
No receiving touchdowns for anybody in Detroit except for Sam Laporta,
Yep.
who had 3 catches for 6 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Keenan Allen had a great game, 5 for 73 and 2 touchdowns. If you started him,
Good on you.
good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
We won. The Lions won. On
Yep.
Corey, I'll let you take over this part. What happened at the end of the game?
Oh gosh, the way the game ended was pathetic. Anybody at any level of anything, even non-professional athletes, could have figured out to call a timeout there.
All the fans.
Not preparing.
So many
Not
videos
preparing
of
Caleb
fans.
Williams, whatever, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the Bears screwed the pooch so bad. They let him have a post-game conference and then let him go on TV this morning, or Friday morning, and had a interview on Get Up or one of those NFL shows in the morning.
Who did
then
they let do this?
the Bears GM and ownership let him do all this, and they interviewed him, and he said, "Business as usual, blah blah blah, whatever." 11 o'clock, you're fired.
Matt Eberflus.
I was gonna say, who's him?
Matt
Eberflus got the axe.
Finally fired.
Finally, we've been talking about this all season long.
Keep in mind that
It's the first time.
the traditional term that the NFL uses and everybody uses, that Black Monday, right? When the playoffs start, all those coaches and vacancies, there's already 4 vacancies. Or 3, sorry.
Backstory, second down, I believe. They get sacked. 33 seconds on the clock. They just got taken out of realistic field goal range, probably 3 or 4 yards back from Cairo Santos's deepest kick. 3-4 yards back from that. 33 seconds on the clock, and they wasted 27 seconds of it. There was 6 seconds
Before
on the
they
clock.
hiked the ball.
They finally
Before
got
they
the ball
sent it off.
off, and they just threw a deep ball in no man's land.
And
Uncatchable.
then
Unbelievable.
If you watched any of his interview, he literally said, "Well, I feel like we did the right thing. We made the right call. The plan was to go do an out route, right, to try to get out of bounds. If you couldn't get out of bounds, then we would call the timeout. Well, you threw a deep post up the seam.
Yeah, that's
It's not the
not
same
exactly
thing.
an out route. An out route would have been the right move. That would have been the
Yeah.
right play. That would have been the right call. Get the ball off quick, get it out of
Mhm.
bounds. If you don't use that timeout that you had, sir. I don't know. Unbelievable.
Rum-
Either way,
rumor,
Lions
ha-
win.
rum- rumor has it he's holding on to that for his next coaching gig, so he can have 4 timeouts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Next game, we had the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. This game was closer than I think you gentlemen thought it was going to be. Just 7-point game.
I'm pretty sure that we called for Dallas to win, and you said, "Are you sure? Because they haven't won at home yet." And I said, "Yeah, it'd be nice, and the Giants could win this game, especially with Drew Lock at quarterback. But Dallas is going to win."
Yeah, I took the Giants to win this game, but I think that it
No,
wound
no,
up
we
being
both
closer
did.
than you
both
thought it
did.
was going to be. I guess I'm not saying y'all, like
Yeah. No, you're good. You're fine.
The
You're right.
people at home. Drew Lock didn't have a great game. Anybody want to take over the stats on this one?
Nope.
I got the box score right here. No.
You're a stat man.
Go right ahead.
Drew Lock, 21 of 32 for 178 and a pick, 6 sacks. Cooper Rush, 21 of 36 for 195 and a tutty. He did not get sacked. Rico Dowdle was mentioned last game as a potential lock candidate. He had 22 carries for 112 yards and a touchdown, in addition to 3 catches for 11, 20. No, maybe not 15. I don't know. He had a good bit of good fantasy day. Tyrone Tracy had 9 carries, 32 yards, and a touchdown, in addition to 2 catches for 33. Malik Neighbors had 8 receptions for 69 yards. Not a whole lot else to write home about in fantasy world for them.
Nope.
Brandon Cooks had a touchdown.
Yep.
Anything you guys want to add about that game?
No, it
Nope.
was dog water, just like we thought it would be.
I think the Giants need to keep running with Drew Lock, though.
Oh yeah, it should have been him from the get-go.
The late game, Miami Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers. I had hoped that this would be a little bit better of a game for Miami than it was.
Packers jumped out to an early 2-score lead and didn't really look back.
No,
Not.
they did not.
And by the way, we expected this to be a snow fest.
No, yeah.
And
It was just
Tua
cold.
Tagovailoa went 37 of 46 for 365 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
I did not expect that. And they lost. They only put up 17 points with their quarterback going 37 of 46 for 365. That's kind of a wild
Yeah.
stat.
Yeah, Dolphins tried to make it a game in the end, but it was just too little, too late.
Josh
was
Jacobs.
saved fantasy. I was gonna say Achan's fantasy day was saved by his receptions.
Yeah, 8 receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown. He had 7 carries for 14 yards. He did nothing running the football. Josh Jacobs on the other side had 19 carries for 43 yards and a tutty. He also had 4 receptions for 74.
Yeah, he had I'm pretty sure he had one big run on a
Yep,
reception.
Tucker Kraft had 6 catches for 78 yards. He was a lock for us. Jaden Reed had 3 grabs for 24 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was saved by the touchdowns, but he got 2 of them. Looking at the other side, Tyreek Hill had 6 for 83 and a touchdown. Jonnu Smith had 10 for 113. Jalen Waddle had 4 for 53.
That Tyreek Hill touchdown was beautiful.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Garbage time touchdown. Saving folks like Wes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't touch on Jordan Love. 21 of 28 for 274 and 2 touchdowns.
And for those of you watching at home, if you're not paying attention to college football, Texas A&M just had a pick 6.
Sweet.
Then we go to
As we were.
last night's game.
Dude, let me talk about this one.
Please.
First of all, Raiders blew it. Chiefs are one of the worst 11-1 teams there's ever been in NFL history, in my opinion. All the Raiders had to do was burn a little more clock. Just burn a little more clock, but the rookie center snapped the ball when O'Connell wasn't paying attention. Refs blew the whistle, making it a dead play. But technically you can't call a false start on the center snapping the ball, so they had to get together, call a legal shift, realistically speaking, the refs should have owned up to the mistake and replayed the down or something, because all the Raiders just stopped playing because the whistle blows the play dead, and they blew the whistle like a false start. So, and then the Chiefs recovered the football, and so since the play was dead, Raiders really didn't go after the ball besides like O'Connell, and the Chiefs picked it up.
Over.
Chiefs.
Hey, O'Connell took it though. He said that it was on him.
He did. He owned up to it.
He said I was clapping for the ball and I clapped too soon. So that's cool at least. There's positives out of it. Your young quarterback was taking responsibility for the young center's mistake. I think that was probably a little bit of both. I don't know, but
That was irritating.
out of nowhere, Sincere McCormick.
Yeah.
12 carries for 64 yards. Nobody's even heard of this guy. I mean, we have, but
I haven't.
I don't know that he's carried the football.
Does he like
17 times? He had 5 carries last week. His only carries in the NFL were in the last 2 weeks.
Does he have any stake in like the spices and seasonings company?
Jeez.
Sincerely,
number 15 added player.
Sincerely, just sincerely
I'm
wondering. So nothing to speak of in the Vegas running back room. Truly, Amir Abdullah flopped after having a good week last week. Looking over at Kansas City's running backs, Pacheco had his first game back, had significantly better yards per carry than Kareem Hunt did. He went 7 for 44, where Kareem Hunt went 7 for 15.
Did you guys listen to the commentators talk about the difference between Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, and how Kareem Hunt is more of a he was like a big bruiser or something like that? I was like, wait a minute, Kareem Hunt is basically what Isaiah Pacheco was, but he's older now and he's a little gassed, and he's just not that guy anymore. He's not the guy you're saying he is. They're basically the same dude, but Pacheco's better now.
5'10", 212, or whatever the hell it is. The heck it is, excuse me. Something like that, right?
This was by no means Clash of the Titans, but it was Clash of the Tight Ends.
But
no? Yeah. Brock Bowers, 10 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. That kid is insane. Travis Kelce, 7 for 68. Noah Gray, 4 for 58. Jacoby Myers, 6 for 97. We were telling you about him catching fire. He's consistently getting the ball. He's getting looks. Keep starting him. DeAndre Hopkins had 4 for 90. Xavier Worthy had 5 for 54. Trey Tucker had a long one, 1 for 58 and a tutty.
Yep. It was a beautiful pass, too. Blown coverage.
Looking at quarterbacks, Aiden O'Connell went 23 of 35 for 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 26 of 46, 306 yards and interception, 5 sacks. 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 5 sacks.
So keep in mind, the Raiders had more passing yards and rushing yards and lost the game.
Thanks, Zebras. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So
injury report, bye weeks.
So there's no teams have a bye week this week, but next week is the last bye week of the season, and there will be 6 teams off next week.
Such a garbage way to do this.
The big one.
6 teams on bye in week 14.
Yeah, and the last week.
Like, that's insane. Not even just for
the last week. Thank you. The last week before fantasy football playoffs start.
Yeah, isn't that something, dude? There's teams that are trying to squeak in, and
I know
there's important players that are out. I mean,
we'll cover that next week.
I mean, the NFL knows that the fantasy football is like a multi-million-dollar. They make money off of this. Not even just in daily too. They get a cut of that.
You better be a good fantasy football player and pay attention to those bye weeks.
So silly.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Corey, with the injury report.
I will take the injury report. I'm going to start off, and I took it off of NFL's in the order they did it. So Chargers-Falcons game. Of note, J.K. Dobbins is out. I believe they put him on IR.
Yeah, he's on IR.
For 4 weeks. So he'll be fully healthy for their run. And then Younghoe Koo is questionable I think it was a hip or a hamstring injury or something like that. But he's expected to play. Steelers Bengals. Nothing really fantasy relevant other than on defense. Alex Highsmith is doubtful with an ankle, so pass rush is going to be a little bit limited on the other side of T.J. Watt. Texans Jags. Trevor Lawrence questionable for left shoulder injury. Cardinals Vikings. Josh Oliver for the Vikings out. Wrist and ankle injury. Jameis would have a field day with those. Colts Pats game. It's a lot. It's a long list, and there's some significance here. Josh Downs and Ashton Doolin both out. Two starting O linemen for the Colts also out. Alex Pierce questionable with a foot injury.
Alec
Pierce, sorry, thank you. Patriots Cole Strange starting guard out, knee injury, and then Demario Douglas questionable with an ankle injury.
Demario. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
All right, that'd be enough.
Seahawks Jets starting left tackle Tyron Smith is on IR for the Jets, and Brees Hall questionable with a knee injury. So still expected to play, but questionable with a knee. Titans and Commanders for wide receiver fantasy purposes. Chidobe Awuzie for the Titans out with a groin injury.
The kids are playing over in my area.
So,
Okay. All right. Carry on. My bad.
oh my gosh. Austin Eckler on IR with a concussion, so he'll be missing at least 4. And Marshawn Lattimore for the Commanders doubtful with his hamstring injury still. He did get some limited practice this week.
What a good trade.
But I doubtful to play. So Bucks Panthers moving on. Jalen Coker and Jatavian Sanders are out.
So nobody.
Okay. Exactly. Yep, nobody. Okay. Rams and Saints, Tyler Higbee out with a knee injury. Eagles Ravens. For the Ravens wide receivers, not that they're that consistent, but Darius Slay is out for the Eagles with a concussion, and Devontae Smith questionable with a hamstring injury.
Go figure.
Here's another long list with some fantasy relevance. 49ers Bills and their snow globe game, which I hope gets flexed into national showing because I want to watch that.
It is.
Oh, it's the night game. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, NBC.
Trent Williams, starting left tackle, out with an ankle injury.
Oof.
Joey Bosa out with a hip and oblique injury. Their cornerback Lenore out with a knee injury. Brock Purdy questionable with a shoulder. Dalton Kincaid for the Bills out with a knee injury, and Keon Coleman questionable with a wrist injury.
That'll be interesting.
Lots and lots of stuff there. And then Monday night, Browns Broncos. Cedric Tillman out with a concussion, and Jedrick Wills, their left tackle, out with a knee injury.
Cedric Tillman, man, that's unfortunate.
Cedric Tillman.
He got on a little hot streak there. Made it to our trending hot series, and then got hurt, and then got hurt, and then got hurt.
Yep.
And cooled off. This man took an ice bath.
And
that wraps it up for your Week 13 injury report.
Nice. Thank you, Corey.
Brought to you by yours truly.
No, brought to you by Sidecar Slider Bar, actually.
Yeah.
Bazing. Yes.
All right.
Positional power rankings.
On to the positional power rankings. I'll start us off. Quarterbacks.
Sounds good.
We've skipped this a couple shows in a row. Wanted to pump the brakes on it, give it a rest, and see what we came up with the next time that we ran it. QB5 on the season so far. Josh Allen with 23.6 points per game, 7 weeks as a top 10 quarterback. We'll call those QB1 weeks. Number 4, Jalen Hurts, 24.2 points per game, 7 QB1 weeks as well. Number 3, Baker Mayfield, 25.3 points per game, 8 QB1 weeks. QB number 2, Joe Burrow, 26.7 points per game, 7 QB1 weeks, and rounding out the top 5 quarterbacks, quarterback number 1, LaMarvelous Jackson, 29.2 points per game, 10 QB1 weeks.
I'll jump right in. Running backs. Number 5, Bijan Robinson, 18.3 points per game, 5 running back 1 weeks. 4, Alvin Kamara, 20 points per game, 4 RB1 weeks. Surprised he's still up there, kind of. 3, Derrick Henry, also 20 points per game, but 6 RB1 weeks. And number 2, Joe Mixon, 21.1 points per game, 6 RB1 weeks. And you guessed it, number 1, Saquon Barkley, 24.2 points per game, 7 RB1 weeks, and 1 reverse hurdle.
Necessary to know.
Love it. Love it. I'll take the wide receivers. Starting at number 5, Malik Neighbors, 16.7 points per game, 4 wide receiver 1 weeks. He's cooling off a bit, hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6. Number 4, Justin Jefferson, 16.9 points per game, 3 wide receiver 1 weeks. Number 3, A.J. Brown, 17 points per week, or points per game, 4 wide receiver 1 weeks. Number 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sun God, 18.2 points per game, 5 wide receiver 1 weeks. And number 1, again, Jamar Chase, 22.9 points per game with 5 wide receiver 1 weeks.
It is worth noting on those wide receivers, Chris Godwin, Nico Collins, Cooper Kupp, and T. Higgins would all be in the top 5 with Jamar Chase if they'd played enough games. Cooper Kupp is at 58%.
Or we're healthy.
Yeah, 58% of the games that they've had, Cooper Kupp has played in. We made our mark 60%, so he's not in. Same for Nico Collins, he's at 58%. Chris Godwin, he's obviously done. T. Higgins has only played 5 or 6 games, so he's at like 40-some%. But rounding out last, we're on to tight ends. Did tight ends a little bit differently this week. Tight ends, it's a fickle mistress, right? It's not. You don't just have everything's the same. It's either with wide receivers, say, it's either PPR or not. Standard or PPR. There's no extra PPR and etc. Where with tight ends you could have full PPR, half PPR, normal PPR. You get it. So we just did 5 through 1 where they're ranked at, and told you how many weeks that they've had at their position in the top 10. So number 5, Jonnu Smith, new to this list for us. 5
Deservingly so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Crushing it lately.
Number 4 with 6 tight end 1 weeks, we've got Travis Kelce, and the remaining 3, you know exactly who they are. Number 3, Trey McBride with 6 tight end 1 weeks. George Kittle is still perennial perennial top 10 tight end in the league. He is 9 for 9 as a tight end 1 this year. Every single week he's been a tight end 1. And then number 1 with 8 tight end 1 weeks, the ridiculous rookie Brock Bowers with 40 or 30 points in a normal PPR this week.
Yes.
I believe it was 40 in full point. So that's your positional power rankings.
Let's jump right on to picks and locks for
Picks and
this
locks.
week 13 in the NFL.
Game 1. LA Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Chargers are actually favored to win this game by 1. The spread is 47.5 total points.
Yeah. I'll go. J.K. Dobbins going to IR means Gus Edwards is their main back. I see a shootout with Justin Herbert getting a lot of yards through the air.
Okay.
Can the Falcons bounce back at home? McConkey returning to his college state, Georgia. Look for Lab McConkey and Darnell Mooney this week. Those are my
Very
locks.
familiar with that.
Chargers winning. Chargers winning.
He's played at that stadium a few times.
Yes.
I love the Lad McConkey lock. I think that is a great lock. I'm really interested to see how Quentin Johnston responds to his 6 target, 0 reception, 4 drop performance last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't reckon it's going to be the same way this week, but I'd be interested to see how that goes. I'm taking the Falcons in a close one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a cleose game. I've said it all year. I really like this Falcons offense. Bijan is of course, my lock for Atlanta. I think that you could start any one of their skill position players: Darnell Mooney, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan.
What you got, Corey?
Herbert, Pitts, and McConkey, and I've got the Chargers winning the game. I think the Chargers are somewhat prone to giving up points to tight end, but I think Pitts is going to have a pretty decent game. At least have more than one target.
Sorry, I'm just shaking my head because Corpy and Darian in our chat.
Yeah. It keeps popping up, and I'm reading it too.
We're not going to talk about that. It's so dumb.
That's funny. All right, next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe this is a divisional game.
You believe?
Cincinnati is favored by 3.
This is definitely a divisional game.
You know what? Tickets as low as $48, boys. What are you doing?
Dude,
tomorrow?
that's gonna be a good game.
You want to go?
Dude,
we gotta leave now.
At Cincinnati? It's not far.
Man. It's a lot closer for you.
Is it a 1:00 game?
Oh, it is
Yes.
at Cincinnati. For some reason, I was thinking Pittsburgh. Well,
It's still
let's
it's
leave in
not
the morning.
that much farther.
I wish
6 a.m.
if my wife didn't have to work, dude, I'd be down.
$48.
I'd still be going with a
no,
Monroe
no.
St. Brown jersey.
Brother, you guys would have to bring me a coat. I would drive over there from here, straight east.
That's fair.
You'd have to bring me a coat and some gloves, brother.
You don't have a coat?
I don't.
Not
I
with
have.
him?
I brought a coat to drive to work.
Oh. Well, anyway, this game's gonna be hard to pick. This game is hard to pick. This division always plays each other well. Whether it's the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Ravens playing each other, it's always tough. I think the Steelers defense is gonna get after Burrow a lot. I still think it's gonna be a great game. I have the Steelers winning this one at the Bengals. I have George Pickens and T. Higgins, the aforementioned T. Higgins, as my locks.
Go ahead, Corey. I'll go last this time.
I don't have the Steelers winning this game. I do think it is going to be a slugfest like it usually is. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be like a 10-6 or 10-9
Or a barn
all
burner.
defense, or
Can't win by only kicking field goals.
non-stop, dude. I have Burrow and Chase's locks standard. You should be starting them anyway if you have them. T. Higgins too. Not Mike Gesicki this week. Don't do it. George Pickens and then Najee Harris.
You sure about that?
And then also, a little birdie told me, keep an eye out for Jaylen Warren too.
A little birdie told you that, huh?
What kind of
Little
bird was
birdie told me
this?
that.
Yeah.
As a Michigan fan, that's all you need to know.
I thought you were gonna say like Chase Brown.
A Michigan fan told you this?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Seth.
That's weird.
Trying to connect the dots.
I'm taking the Bengals. My locks for this game are Najee Harris and T. Higgins.
Okay,
I'm being short and sweet on
that's
it.
cool. I like it.
Nobody's told me anything about this game.
Did the birdie escape from the Bengal gut? Anyway,
Okay, well, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. The last 2 times the Steelers have played, they've both been divisional games, right? Baltimore and Cleveland. Jaylen Warren got 10.8 points and 15.4 points.
So there's no birdie.
Game. Yeah, I would have never said anything until he pointed it out to me. So,
Cardinals at Vikings. The spread is Minnesota by 3.5.
go ahead, Corey.
oh, you want me to start? Okay. I have the Vikings winning this game. Obviously, if you have, oh my gosh, I'm drawing. Oh my God,
That's
I'm
why we
drawing a
write
blank.
these
Anyway,
things down.
Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson, and then Trey
You just
McBride.
forget Justin Jefferson's name?
No, Kyler Murray's name.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, wow.
If you have Kyler Murray, you're going to start him, right? Obviously, so it's not really worth
Uh.
mentioning. Even though I did mention Burrow and Chase before, but Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson, and then Trey McBride.
Go ahead, Sal.
But I have the Vikings winning.
I really would like to see the Cardinals win this game. But I have the Vikings winning.
That's hilarious.
So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a big game. Something's telling me he's going to have 100 plus yards through the air. Receiving. I think Justin Jefferson is a lock. I think he's a lock every week. I really think you should pay attention to Jordan Addison. Of late, he has been getting a lot of targets in Minnesota. Sam Darnold seems to be liking him. I've got the Vikings. The spread is 3.5. Like I said, I would love to see the Cardinals win this game. I think they've got what it takes. They are technically the division leaders in the NFC West right now. But
Are they?
Vikings.
Are they tied with the
Yeah.
Seahawks?
Everybody else is 5 and 6, I think.
Seahawks are 6 and 5.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And they're technically tied for first in the.
Okay. So James Conner just got an extension with Cardinals.
2-year extension. I saw that.
Sure
That's
did.
Yep.
weird.
And he's gonna show he's worth it. He's my lock for the Cardinals.
Great, man.
I got Aaron Jones as my Vikings lock. As much as I want the Cardinals to win this game, they still don't impress me much. That don't impress me much. Vikings only loss at home this year was to the Detroit Lions. So
Don't get me wrong. I think you're all right, but that won't keep me up enough.
I got the Vikings.
I want
Well,
to touch
cool,
base.
well,
You
midnight.
you said keep an eye out for Jordan Addison of late. It's touchdowns. The only time he
Yeah, but-
had over 160 yards was last week. Or the only time he's ever scored 100 yards was last week. He's getting tons of targets, but the only time he's had over 5 catches was against Indy. Right, not a great secondary, and then last week against Chicago. But it's
Which is a-
touchdown.
They're good secondary, but
It is a good secondary, yes.
it just feels like he's been getting targets lately. Has he?
Yep.
He has,
He's
hasn't
been, like I said, plenty of targets.
he? Yeah.
4, 3, 5, 5, 8, 9. But then the catches are, 2 for 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 8, and then 8 of 9. But over 100 yards once all season. That was last week.
Yeah, just keep an eye on him. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Keep your eyes peeled. If you can buy him low, he might be a sneaky stash.
Speaking of Indy, yeah, big oof. Colts at the Patriots.
This game should not be televised.
Colts by 2.5 is the spread.
Not much to say. More playing time for Anthony Richardson. Let him continue to develop. I got the Colts winning, and I have the running backs, Jonathan Taylor and Ramondre Stevenson.
Winning?
Yeah.
I got the Colts winning.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor and Ramondre Stevenson are my locks.
What'd you say the spread was on this one? 2.5?
2.5 in favor of Indy.
Oh my gosh. Gross.
They've all been close.
So far.
Go ahead.
I've got the Colts winning, but I've got the quarterbacks, and then Michael Pittman, Richardson, and Drake May. I think we'll do decent enough to lock. I'm not saying 30, 40 points. I'm saying high teens, low 20s for both.
My notes just closed out on me, so give me just a second here. There's one name I'm looking for, and I'm completely whiffing on it right now. So I'm taking the Colts to win this game. Hunter Henry is my lock for the Patriots, and then for the Colts,
Adonai Mitchell?
you said Alec Pierce is hurt, right?
Questionable.
Questionable.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
He's
no
a deep,
Josh Downs.
He's
no
a deep
Ashton
ball
Dulin.
boy.
Yeah, I have a hinkling suspicion he's going to be a good lock. I think if you need somebody in your flex spot, I wouldn't start him anywhere other than a flex spot if I'm desperate, but keep your eyes peeled on him.
Yep.
Next up,
Seahawks at Jets. Jets.
yeah, that's just too much. They don't deserve all that.
LOSE.
Garbage.
Lose.
Yeah, LOSE.
I can't pick the Jets anymore. I just can't. And now that I'm saying that, they're probably gonna win. But I got the Seahawks winning this one. What are the Jets gonna do after the season? I'm not sure anyone saw it being this bad with Aaron Rodgers under center. But
Bro, Gino kept his receipts, man.
yeah, Seahawks may try to jump ahead in their division this week. Like I said, if Cardinals lose against Vikings, Seahawks win at Jets. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a name that everyone's talking about right now. But I'm still going to lock DK Metcalf and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, DK Metcalf against Sauce Gardner.
Mm-hmm. Whoever.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, the spread is off.
Yeah.
You
And
cannot
New York Jets
you cannot
off, it
bet.
says.
You cannot bet on that one. The bets are off on that one, so that's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
I'm taking Seattle to win this game on the road. Like you had mentioned Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's very boomer bust. I think we had talked about it on the show earlier this week. It's like 6 games outside of the top 30 for him on the season.
Mhm.
And he's wide receiver 8. I think DK Metcalf is a better wide receiver for them. Kenneth Walker, I think, will have a good game. And I like the Seahawks to win. I just realized Geno Smith is having a Jameis Winston year, just significantly lower numbers as far as touchdowns and interceptions. He's at 12 and 12. It's a weird stat.
Wow.
12 games or 11 games through the season, he's 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's not very productive.
Yikes. I have the Seahawks winning this game. I too put JSN on my lock or my pick list here.
Hmm.
Kenneth Walker and then Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. I know Brees is kind of limping along a little bit, got some questionable designation, but yeah, I got JSN and Kenneth Walker with Brees and Garrett Wilson. So
Titans at Commanders.
do you think the bets are off on that game because they're playing in New Jersey, or is that not a thing anymore?
I don't know.
Interesting. Anyway, continue.
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. Titans at Commanders. Washington by 6 is the spread. Titans have a good defense. I think that this game might be closer than you expect. Tickets are only $15 for that one.
I'm
Johnny,
not
wanna
going to
go to DC?
Washington. No.
Dude, the next
Why is
4
that
games you can
50?
find tickets at like $20 or less. That's crazy. Anyways, I think this will be a closer game than expected. I might shy away from starting my boy Jaden Daniels this week, but I've got the Manders winning this game.
I said Commanders are due.
My locks would be Tony Pollard for the Titans. Sorry, what was that?
I was trying to mouth your next lock. See if we had the same ones.
Terry McLaurin?
Yep.
Also, Zach Ertz at the tight end position is a good bet this week.
I said Commanders are due. Titans did look good last week, but I have them defending their home field. I got Commanders and Tony Pollard and Terry McLaurin.
I too picked the Commanders to win this game at home. I do have Jaden Daniels on here.
I hope so.
Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, and Will Levis has been playing pretty well.
The mayonnaise man.
Mayonnaise man himself.
Game day be great.
Tipped his cap.
Texans at the Jaguars. The spread is only 3.5 in favor of Houston.
It's a division match, man. They usually play each other pretty deep.
Yeah, at Jags too. Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, God. Well, Trevor Lawrence is going to play, so that changes things a little bit. I don't know. Texans haven't been playing a lot of good ball lately. I mean, fantasy relevance, Mixon's been in there all the way to the top, as our positional rankings show. But this one was the hardest one for me to actually choose because of the way because of the way the Texans have been playing, and because I like trying to get those games, stream them or figure out, watch the GameCast or whatever on my phone. But I do have the Texans winning this game. And then obviously Joe Mixon and Brian Thomas Jr. and Nico Collins.
Anybody else?
You gotta take them all.
Just 3.
Go ahead.
Did you want to add?
Go ahead, Sal. See if you got any nuance on them.
Houston Texans are going to destroy the Jaguars. My locks were Joe Mixon and Brian Thomas Jr., but since those are already taken, Evan Ingram is a lock.
I put
Dalton Schultz? No, you can't trust him this year.
Trevor Lawrence. You said he is back. I said he should be back for this game, I believe, but it still won't be enough. CJ Stroud jumps back into the win column with a big game from Nico and Mixon. My locks are Nico Collins and Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a big game, I think.
Especially with Trevor at quarterback.
Next up, the Los Angeles Rams against the red-hot New Orleans Saints.
I'll go.
Rams by 2.5 is the spread.
Red hot New Orleans.
Puka Nacua, Alvin Kamara are my locks. Saints get the much-needed win at home to help them get back in the division fight. Saints winning.
What did he say?
Yes. Saints are winning this game.
Saints have won 2 in a row. They beat the Falcons and the Browns. After losing 7 straight after I called them pretenders.
They fired Dennis Allen.
Hate to break the news to you, Wesley, but these guys are pretenders, even under
okay.
the new coaching staff. The Rams are going to batter the Saints. Matthew Stafford is going to slice and dice. He's throwing for 250, 300. He's probably throwing for 300. I've got everybody on that offense eating. I've got Kyron Williams. I've got Cooper Kupp. I've got Puka Nacua. Sling the arrows, man. They're winning that ball game.
Everybody.
How about Tyler Johnson?
No.
Haven't brought his name up in a while.
For the Saints, in this case, the Aints, I think Kamara is a great player. He's just not enough.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
For another 1-catch, 80-yard touchdown game. Let's go.
Hey, man. He's done it already. Since everybody said everything else, MBS was my non-said lock already for this game. Because you have to.
How does it feel?
If you don't have anything else to start, flex spot only, they're going to be behind. Probably from like a minute and a half into the game.
Can't wait to prove you guys wrong.
No,
I feel like Devon Vele has got to be available. He's a better start this week than
yeah, but
maybe Bub Means. Is Bub Means back yet?
I'm just saying, man, that after the Saints traded away Lattimore, and dude, it's a dumpster fire right now in New Orleans. And
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
No,
That's
move
it.
on. Move on.
Buccaneers at the Panthers. Tampa Bay is favored by 6. Speaking of dumpster fires, Panthers are a dumpster fire. Buccaneers win this ball game. Mike Evans is my lock for the game. Looking over at the Panthers side, I believe that Chuba Hubbard's going to keep his train rolling.
Well, since you said my locks, I have the same locks. I have the same winner. Mike Evans still trying for that 1,000-yard season. He's going to get near 150 this game. Panthers aren't that good. Even though they almost beat KC last week, what does that tell you about KC? Anyway.
Just look at Kansas City. The back-to-back weeks, struggling with the Panthers mightily and then struggling with the Las Vegas Raiders. That's not a good football team.
Bro, the Chiefs have struggled against everybody this year.
And they keep getting bailed out. Anyways, back to this game.
What you got, Corey? Buccaneers winning.
Buccaneers by a mile. Mike Evans.
Okay, moving on.
The biggest game of the week, in my opinion, by a long shot, and I'm gonna go last.
This is huge. Eagles at Ravens. Saquon Barkley, Lamar Jackson are my locks for this game. It's in Baltimore. Ravens are going to knock the Eagles down a peg. I got Baltimore winning this one.
I, too, have Baltimore. Lamar and Saquon, obviously, and A.J. Brown.
I don't think the Eagles are that good. I think I've said that more than once. They're not pretenders by any means. They're 9-2. That this is a good football team. They're on a 7-game win streak.
Yes.
But like I said, I think I mentioned this. You look at the teams that they've played in that span. Browns, they won by 4. They blew out the Giants. They beat the Bengals pretty handily, and the Cowboys. They struggled with the Commanders. They beat the Rams by 17. I don't know. They're not beating real good teams. I have the Ravens winning this ball game. Derrick Henry hasn't been mentioned.
Nope.
He's my lock for the week.
I try to pick my guys all the time, all right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Corey. Derrick Henry is my is my lock.
I pick your guys all the time.
So it only hurts because it's true, and that's okay.
Corey's over here catching strays.
Jeez. You know
I
what?
do.
Fine. I won't pick anybody on your roster the rest of the fantasy football season.
It's like 3 weeks.
One more week. One more week. One more regular season week.
So I have the Ravens winning this game as well. They're going to cover the spread, in my opinion, win by more than 3. Derrick Henry is my only lock.
All right. 49ers. At Bills. At the North Pole.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, it is blizzard conditions right now.
You always get at least one of those in Buffalo a year. At least.
Yeah.
Buffalo. 49ers are banged up.
A lot.
I don't love this game. I don't love this game for
fantasy
or for fantasy. I think that they're going to run the football enough. If it stays a snow globe. Now, this is I want to preface that. If this stays a snow globe game, Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis. If it doesn't wind up being a snow globe game,
does Ray Davis does he have a LaShawn McCoy against Detroit game?
Ooh, I don't know if it's going to be that good.
Had to bring up old stuff, huh?
I just think he's going to have a lot of opportunity if it's a snow globe game.
Yeah.
My locks would be running backs. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Bills winning as well. I have Christian McCaffrey as well. But I have Josh Allen. He's going to be very mobile.
Another one of your guys.
He's going to be mobile. Yeah, the last 2 games I picked my quarterbacks. What do you want? What do you want from me? I actually didn't realize that when I did it. But this is going to be a snow game. I see a lot of rushing yards. Bills will win this one easily, whether Purdy plays or not.
I can't say anything because the guys that I had locked are both on both of your guys' rosters. So Bills are going to win this game.
Who are your locks? Josh Allen and
Josh Allen and George Kittle.
Oh,
George Kittle.
Both on my team.
Both on his team,
yeah.
Yeah, if Kittle plays, he's a lock for top 10 tight end week. So
seems that way.
Yeah.
I mean, go
9 for 9 so far.
Yeah.
Last but not least, last game of the week. The Cleveland Browns.
The Bros at Bros.
The Denver Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Give me Cortland Sutton. Gary Juady.
Guy has been on fire lately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Corey.
I have the Broncos winning. Bonick's going to have another good game. Sutton's going to have another good game. And for the Browns, I don't know, depending on where their number 1 corner lines up. God, his name is escaping me right now for the Broncos.
Newsome?
No, for the Broncos.
Surtain.
Oh, Surtain.
He's going to be Surtain. He's going to be covering Judy. If he's covering Judy, no. So I picked Jameis. Famous Jameis. It's going to have to. It's going to have to throw it.
Broncos are real. Broncos are real. Browns defense is good. Miles Garrett's going to give Bo Nix a hard time, but Bo Nix has the athleticism. He has the escapability to get out of the pocket and make things happen. I got Cortland Sutton, and for Browns, I have David Njoku. The bounce back performance after a few drops.
Yep.
Bo Nix is 65% completion percentage on the year. 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He has the third best completion percentage on their team.
On their team?
Cortland Sutton is 2 for 2, and Riley Dixon, their punter, is 1 for 1. Oh man,
like-
he's having a great season. I brought up their stats because I wanted to ask. We're here. We might as well talk about it. Do we think Bo Nix has got Rookie of the Year implications as of right now?
Implications.
He's definitely in the mix. When the season started, a lot of people were saying there's no chance. It's going to be Daniels or
They were
Neighbors,
saying
right?
Caleb Williams.
Or Caleb Williams.
But when
Yeah.
the
Well, I
season
mean,
through 4 weeks or so, it was Jaden Daniels.
That was Jaden Daniels for sure. Yeah.
Well, Caleb Williams definitely has been playing his butt off. In spite of the garbage play calling and coach that he had to suffer through. But hey, Thomas Brown, good on you, man. 2 promotions in 17 days.
Yep, I did see that. That's insane.
Can I get one of those? Sign me up for one of those.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. It's going to be a tough one this year, but you always default to quarterback, so Nix is definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
It's funny. So, in passing yards, they are in 12th, 13th, and 14th place in the NFL. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix in that order. In passing yards, Jaden Daniels is 1 yard ahead of Caleb Williams.
Same amount of games played?
Same amount of games played, all three of them. Caleb Williams has been sacked 49 times.
Justin Fields held the ball too long. Remember that.
He has been sacked more than Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix combined.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams has actually had more sack yards lost than any other quarterback in the NFL.
It's like that meme with Robin Williams and Matt Damon. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. It truly isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put part of the blame on him for holding the ball, but...
Yeah. Anything else, boys?
I'm still looking at the stats for those rookie quarterbacks. I do think it's anybody's race.
It's wild. It's been a good year for them.
Daniels has the highest completion percentage of the three of them.
What's he at? 69, 68?
68.4.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix is at 64.9. Drake May is actually at 65.5.
Well, he's played 3 less games.
And then Caleb Williams at 61.6, significantly lower than the rest of them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it finishes up. I'm excited. Yeah, no, I've got nothing for the rest of the evening. If either of you gentlemen don't, class dismissed.
I think we call it a night.
All right.
All right. Good night, boys.
Thanks for stopping in and flying with us.
Good luck this weekend. Hopefully you guys make your last playoff push.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed our content and look forward to more, please drop a like and subscribe to the When Pigs Can Fly Fantasy Football Show.